The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Now to have another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's with you, my boy?
What up with the dog?
Man, bro, I swear it feel like every time we do a show, I have to change my camera angle. Camera one, camera two, camera one, camera two. You know what that come from? What movie that come from? Wayne's World. I think that was the second one. I know you ain't watch it. Whatever. What? Don't judge me. I had white friends. Anyway, good hot episode tonight. It's championship week, man. Conference championships. I feel like it's a lot more on the line this year than most years. I mean, I know it's crazy to say a lot of them determine playoff positioning, but this year we got the potential for utter chaos. We got the potential for utter bias. We got the potential for straight boredom.
Really?
Yeah, so lot of that, man. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to this weekend. Actually, I think the playoff games. I'm not playoff game. I'm sorry. The
start Friday. Though.
Start Friday. Yeah. That's what I was looking at. I thought it was one on Thursday, but nope. Friday. Sunday we'll know seeding. We'll have an idea about bowl games. A lot of speculation out there. The coaching carousel. The coaching carousel is heating up. Whoo. Yeah. I don't know if we got some news on that. Speaking of heating up, transfer portal. Hot.
Yeah.
Very hot.
Crazy.
There's a lot of people in there.
It's only getting started.
There's a lot of people. And I know why it's a lot more people, or seems like it's a lot more names in there this year, because that window has shrunken down on, when you can enter and stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Yeah. I do want to say this. Some of y'all, you may want to rethink your positioning.
On what?
On how good you are, your value. Some of y'all might want to rethink.
Talking to the players, I got you.
Yeah, your talent level. Because some of y'all making these announcements and jumping in the portal, I ain't never heard of you.
I mean, but that's probably why they're jumping in the portal, because they know they're probably not.
That's true. I know saying it's just the intro. Do I'm sure you I just for the education of the audience, you know how the portal actually looks to like coaches and stuff?
Yeah, it's just names.
A name and a school and a position.
Mm-hmm.
There are no stats.
No film.
There are no film, no highlights.
They don't have your social media ads.
I don't even know if it's got your picture. I think it's just your
name.
name and your clearinghouse number and stuff like that. So yeah, so a lot of people like, so it's not like you can jump in the portal and people can go shopping like you on Amazon.
Yeah. It ain't like
Realistically,
2.7 where they got it ranked and you can go find you who the 5 stars in the portal, who the 3 stars.
Yeah, it's not like that. The portal is kind of set up like I do my bets, kind of blind.
Like a phone book.
Yeah. Just saying, dart throw it. That's where we're going this year for Christmas. Oh, you see, I always land on Pritchett. We're going to Mobile for Christmas, kids. Back up.
You got magnets in them darts, huh?
Hey, would you look at that? We going to Montgomery. So, kids, we're going on a trip. Yay. Where we going? Birmingham. But yeah, man. But let's go ahead and get started, man. Gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We will be back in 1 minute.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hey, and we are back. That 1 minute goes by really quick. It's funny how like when you playing like them games on your phone and them minute ads take forever. But we were in an ad on the show and that minute go by quick when you're trying to do stuff. But anyway, hey, I know we ain't have this on here, but do you want to talk to Coaching Carousel a little bit? Okay. First off, the Coaching Carousel. I don't think we talked. No, because we didn't do a show on Sunday. Dana Holgrimson at Houston, Indiana. Who else is head coach wise is out?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Syracuse,
Syracuse,
San Diego State, Oregon State now has an opening.
Yeah, because they feel that went to the
DC, I think.
DC. Duke now has an opening because Elko went to Texas A&M.
It's been some movement. A lot of coaches being hired and fired.
Yes. Speaking of Texas A&M, Bobby Petrino has gone now to Arkansas. I think this is Sam Pittman is doing another effort to try to save his job. Hopefully he does not do what Jimbo did.
That boy just let a coyote in the hen house, bro.
Yeah, I really do hope he doesn't do what Jimbo did. Basically, bring somebody in and don't let them actually run the offense.
Well, you ain't got to worry about that with Pittman because Pittman ain't got no offense.
That's true.
Pittman, the offensive line coach. It ain't like he got his own offense. So yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh,
yeah, Sean Lewis got this San Diego State job.
Yeah. Oregon State promoted their DC to head coach. Sean Lewis Ryan Boulder for the San Diego State job.
After he got demoted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We ain't talking about HBCUs right now, but yeah, Hugh Jackson at Grambling is out. Taraz said we talked about this a few weeks ago. I feel bad because I called it.
I could drink to that.
I called this. I don't know if you remember the conversation, and it went something like this. Coach Duke, and I said, it might be 2 coaches in Louisiana looking for jobs if Grambling don't find a way to win that game.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
And you said, nah,
I didn't think they was gonna fire him this early, but
I did not either. We definitely gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Simone said, "Oh, everybody on YouTube, somewhat, yeah. Hey, matter of fact, yeah, y'all do us a favor if you can. You know, somebody tell them, you know, what I'm saying, click over on YouTube. We gotta get them YouTube numbers back up. Speaking of coordinators, Coach Carousel. It's a DB spot open in Florida now. It's a DC spot open in Florida now. Is it DC spot open in Florida? Is that right? Did I get the right D line in DC, or is it just? I know it's DB.
Oh, I think that was code DCs.
Code DC. With that being said, please do not start that. Well, it's too late. It's too late. You know, this happened a while ago. That core Raymond back to LSU. Please stop that.
You wasting your breath. You wasting your breath.
I know.
You might let them talk, bro.
It's crazy. Colorado has several openings for assistant spots. Tim Brewster's out. We already said Sean Lewis. Yeah, it's wild. Coach Carousel is getting wild.
I'm keeping my eye on Charles Kelly, the DC at Colorado, because they weren't good defensively. And if you demoting people, that might be somebody who gets demoted or gets let go.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely gotta. I don't know. LSU fans, no word.
It's not gonna happen right now if it happens at all.
Yeah. So
everybody want to keep bringing up Polian, right? You know when Polian took his job,
it was after signing day, wasn't it?
After signing day, it was in May.
Oh yeah, well there you go. Yeah, and he's the AD somewhere, isn't he?
The head coach and the AD.
Oh, okay, see,
but I forgot the name of that college. But yeah, he left in May. So I mean, people expecting it to happen, and I'm not saying that if House leaves, it's gonna be in May. I'm just saying it's not gonna happen right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't expect LSU to make any moves anytime soon. But we'll see. But let's go ahead and get started talking about some of these games, man. Which game you want to start with first?
The weakest one.
The weakest? All right. Appalachian State versus Troy.
I didn't even know that was on the list.
Yeah, 2 week. It's that 2 week.
That don't really move the needle at all for me.
But you got App State versus Troy for the Sun Belt title.
I guess give me App State.
I didn't even look up the spreads or anything for this. I guess I can pull that up real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll pull that up. Let's be realistic. This should be James Madison versus somebody.
Of course.
But of course, with the rules in place, that's not happening. So yeah.
-6.
So what now?
Troy -6. I don't even know the game being played.
No clue. Not
Veteran Memorial Stadium.
And Troy.
Give me Troy.
I'm leaning Troy. I hate that. I hate Troy with a passion. But give me Troy. Troy has actually been really good this year. They're 10-2.
I was just about to say, I think they're 10-2 on the season.
Yeah, they're 10-2. Give me Troy.
The advantage flipped it for me.
Yeah, Troy minus 6. Over under, I'm not even sure about that one. Actually, I think I looked at this earlier. I think that one's a slight lean to the under, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what the.
I got it at 52.5.
Yeah, it's 52.5. I'm trying to see what the it's a lean to the under. So or actually no, it's a pick to the under. Simulation show the under is the move to make at 52.5. So yeah, I'll take that one. Next up, man. I guess if we're gonna stick with the same theme, let's go with SMU versus Tulane, number 22 Tulane.
This would have been a much better game if SMU quarterback wouldn't have broke his leg.
Yeah. I honestly think the better game was last week when Tulane took on UTSA. They still dominated that game, but I think that was the better game. Right now, Tulane is a 6-point favorite. Over under is set at 47.5. I like Tulane money. I don't even know what the money line is on this one. 165. I like Tulane money line. I'm sorry. I said, what did I say? -6.
Yeah,
I'm very incorrect. It's -3.5. Give me Tulane -3.5.
Yeah, I take that. With the back quarterback for SMU, I take that all day.
Yeah. So, all right, and I'm back in the building too with the with the other stuff too. Shout out to the Pales. I'm trying to go back and see what I was looking at. I like Tulane -3.5. Over 47. What is it now? 47.5, I think is what it is now. 47.5. I'll take that. I'll take over 47.5.
Only thing that scares me about that is, like I've been saying, the backup quarterback for SMU.
But see, here's the thing. I think this is a gift and curse for Tulane. Tulane will score 20 in the first half. Easy. Boom. They'll score 20, 21 in the first half. SMU, they'll let SMU. I'm sorry, I say let. SMU will probably come out and score, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll probably go score for score in the second half. You know what I'm saying? SMU will probably get a quick 14, and Tulane may score another, you know what I'm saying, 10, you know what I'm saying, on them and go from there. So that's because that's typically how Tulane's played the last few games. They'll get up, go into a slight little lull, let teams kind of score on them, then they'll come back and score a few more points. So that's why I can see this being that over.
Yeah, I could see it being 31-10.
Yeah, Tulane gonna do most of the scoring.
I just don't know if you're gonna get enough from SMU.
Yeah, I feel you. What's good, Jason?
I don't trust them with the backup. Red Lashley been doing a hell of a job over there at SMU though.
Yeah,
they spending their money over there. Boy.
Yeah, they are
getting ready to join the ACC. That's
big. That is big. And the crazy part about them joining the ACC and not even
getting no money. Yeah, how much money they got.
That's huge. Shout out to the private schools, man.
Crazy.
Next up, man. Like I said, sticking with the theme of weakest. Give me number 2 Michigan taking on number 16 Iowa. It's Michigan minus 22.5. Over under 35. I'm gonna take the over 35. And I'm gonna take Iowa plus 22.5.
It's 35.5.
35 is the over under.
Yeah.
Michigan, I think
Give
Michigan.
Me the under, man.
I'm gonna take the. I get it now. I do get it. I just can see Michigan scoring like 20 points. I can see this being like.
I would not finna score 15.
I can see this being like, okay, so the simulations got it 30-12. I could realistically see this being like 31-10.
I don't know if Michigan gonna score 31 points.
Yeah, I'm taking Iowa plus 22.5 though. I
think that's a good pick, but like our defense ain't no joke.
Yeah, I know.
And Michigan ain't scored. I mean, they scored 30 against Ohio State, but I mean, they ain't really just been. I don't know.
How much better is Ohio State defense than Iowa defense?
I think Iowa defense better than Ohio State defense.
That's fair.
Yeah, I see this game being like 20-7 or something. You know what I mean?
Could you see 28? Well, no, because that's still 28-7. That put you right at 35.
Yeah, I can see 28-7.
And that that gives you the plus 22.5. That gives you it's at 35.
It's right there. It's right there at it. Yeah. I mean, that's what they're looking at. They're looking at like 29-7 is what they're looking at.
I think I will get 10. I think they'll get you 10. So I honestly, this will be a game.
They better be getting 10 on Minnesota. What they gonna do with Michigan defense?
They got robbed too. Now I will say this. This is a game I'm gonna look at the team total and bet that. Let me ask you this. I already know the answer. How much of a chance do you give Iowa?
None.
Okay.
You got to score to win.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I while it's on my mind, I was gonna make some kind of joke about Michigan sign stealing, but I didn't.
Need to.
Yeah. Dylan told me something, and I was like, "No, it's not. That's not true." And it turned out to be true. Do you know how the huddle was invented? Like the football huddle?
Yeah, to share tape.
No, not that huddle. Like huddle, like you know what I'm saying? Like you
talking about like no.
So Dylan was the AT&T commercial came up with you seen the one with the heads up display for the school of deaf, like the deaf kids?
Nah.
So AT&T has this thing, it's like a heads up display, is in the helmet. And the quarterback is like looking at it and it's telling them like the coach can like type in a tablet the play and it'll pop up in there and he can sign to the team. Dylan was like, the deaf people invented the huddle. I was like, no, they didn't. I was like, where do you get that? They say, yeah, they did. I said, no, they didn't. What happened was we looked it up. There was a college of the deaf, and they were scared people were going to steal their signs when they were doing sign language. So they got in a tight huddle and signed in the sign.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was like, what? That's the second time
crazy.
he taught me something. They learned on YouTube. So anyway. So I think we need to go back to the huddle. Michigan lurking.
I thought you were talking about the website.
Yeah, no, not that huddle. That's funny though. Cause when you say, yeah, you talking about the website. No. That's funny though. Next up, man, I actually think this is gonna be a pretty good game. Now we're starting to get into some games with a little meat on the bones. Number 18, Oklahoma State versus Texas. So let me go pull that
Wouldn't it be something if Oklahoma State finally win a game that causes chaos?
Hello.
That normally lose.
Actually, it's funny you say that. When Les Miles at Oklahoma State, I think it was like his last year, Bedlam caused it. That's why LSU ended up playing for the national championship. So, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He stepped away. My bad.
Yeah, that's why. I guess I should have said Mike Gundy instead of Oklahoma State.
Oh no, you are absolutely right though, because it's yeah. But in this game, with the spread has jumped. The spread is now in favor of Texas minus 15. The total is 55.
I think
How I actually think is Quinn Ewers back?
yeah, I think
He's back. Oklahoma State been so up and down this year.
They have though.
I wonder how much. I don't know how much of a chance I give them. They seem to show up at random times. They did it the year they beat Oklahoma. They in Bedlam, beat Oklahoma and had everybody thinking Lincoln Riley was finna come to LSU. This year they showed up against Oklahoma again.
Got waxed versus UCF though.
Yeah, which is got waxed by South Alabama.
Yeah, true.
At home. I'm looking at the under, but I think this game is gonna be tight. So give me Oklahoma State plus 15.
I like the over. I think Ali Gordon gonna run for about $150 and 2 tutties. I think Bowman, the quarterback for Oklahoma State, finally settled in and learned that system and learned what to do with his team, chemistry with his teammates.
Yeah.
In Texas has kind of been just kind of going through the motions lately, to me, it seems. I know they had Ewers out for a little while, but it just don't seem to me like they're the same team they were at the beginning of the season. So I think and they've been I know last week they blew out Texas Tech, but that was kind of a revenge game. But I think they kind of been playing with their food a little bit. So I'll take Oklahoma State plus 15.5 for that reason. I think Texas does win. I think Oklahoma State keeps it close. And give me the over in there. I think it's gonna be like 41-34 or something like that.
Okay. All right, I can see it. I don't know. It's something about I want to not trust Texas, but I can't figure out why. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to. I think they win the game, but I think this game is closer than it's closer than 15 points.
Oh yeah,
I can't give them that. So, but I think this game is close. But yeah, that's what I got on that one, man. Now this game, I think this is going to be the first upset that we see. Number 14 Louisville versus number 4 Florida State. Let me go to the numbers for y'all. All right, now the numbers. Right now, Florida State is favorite minus 2.5. The over under is 47.5. Louisville has not played as well when they're away from home, but they've played good enough, especially against Florida State, who is missing, Jordan Travis. The backup has not shown me enough to tell, for me to think that, now I'm a caveat that in a minute. The backup has not shown me enough to say that I think that he can carry his team the same, just say keep him afloat. I think he's good enough, he's serviceable, but he's not as dynamic. He's not the chemistry is off. And it's visibly off. I look for Louisville to do some things. They mixed it up against Kentucky very well. Offensive play calling was there. There was just some. I'm not gonna say. I hate saying fluky in some saying some of these games, but there was some saying turnovers here and there. Just some mental mistakes that I feel like that caused them to lose that game. So yeah.
Well, their defense ain't show up neither.
That's fair.
I think Florida State more talented for sure, but I think the quarterback position. Plummer for Louisville been playing pretty well. I know he didn't have his best game last week, but overall this season he's played pretty well. And I think Louisville's defensive line is going to give Florida State quarterback some trouble, kind of fluster him a little bit and make him kind of uneasy in the pocket. And as little of experience as he has, I think that's going to be the difference makers. Can they get to him and kind of rattle him and kind of take him out of his game? Because he wasn't great last week versus Florida. It kind of took some heroics late in that game for them to pull it off.
He wasn't good against UNA, to be honest.
Yeah, and so I mean it's like Louisville, after losing last week, I think they're gonna come out with it on their mind with something to prove. They can spoil Florida State season, and they can kind of salvage their season a little bit, avenge that loss to Kentucky, and set themselves up nicely for a nice bowl game. So I'm with you. I think Louisville wins, but I think it's a close one though, an ugly type game.
Yeah. Let me get Louisville money line. It's plus 118. And the over. I definitely throw some on the over. 47.5. I think they can hit that.
There shouldn't be no problem, but I don't know if I put money on it. I definitely take the Louisville plus the 2.5 though, or 3.5. It was.
Yeah. All right. Excuse me. Next, I think this is the next upset. Number 5, Oregon takes on number 3, Washington. We know this is a rematch from early in the season, where Washington got the win over Oregon. I think Oregon more or less shot themselves in the foot in that game. I say an upset, but even although Washington is undefeated, Oregon comes into this game a 9.5 point favorite. Over under 66.
I hope Washington can win this game.
You want Washington to win it?
I don't want Oregon to win this game, bro. Because if Oregon wins, you might as well give Bo Nix the Heisman.
Yeah, you know what? I understand that.
I'm not saying it's right, but
yeah.
Reality.
Washington money line is plus 300.
Yeah, I don't know if they will win this game though. Their defense is not good, and their offense hasn't been as potent as it was early on in the season. So, can they go score for score with Oregon? Can they get a stop against Oregon?
Did Lanning learn his lesson about trying to be too cute?
I think he has, but we haven't seen him in a close game to know if he has or not. Really.
Yeah. Washington has played in some close games. Unfortunately, they were 2 terrible teams.
Yeah.
So,
it's like they get up for the big games though. And they
do they?
The other games.
Do they? The only big game they had was what? Oregon.
And they beat USC.
It's a terrible team. I mean, I know their record.
Was it
I know
not
the
a
record
game when they played though? Like they're a terrible team when at the end of the season. But
no. It's a big. I mean, for what it represents, it's a big game. When I say terrible team, we know what USC. If anything, I will say this: if LSU's defense is bad, USC defense is worse. Well, I ain't gonna say if. I think LSU's defense is better than Oregon. I mean, not Oregon. USC's defense. And that was kind of score for score until the end. It was. I mean, they won by 10. Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. But they got up for that game. They defense just not good. Washington defense just not good. But if the way that Washington offense looked against USC versus the way that offense looked against Arizona or Arizona State, or you know what I'm saying, they got up for that USC game.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. I think Oregon 9.5. I don't know if Oregon.
Two possessions. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Washington plus the 9.5 just because I want them to win.
Yeah.
But if you ask me who I think wins the game, I say Oregon.
Yeah, I think Oregon wins this. It's an upset.
I mean, it's an upset in terms of ranking.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Bo Nix has that dominant game that, you know what I'm saying, that's just going to make it.
Pause Hub.
Oh, he said, our good man Pause Hub said he's taking Washington outright. Plus 300. Ain't bad.
I hope you're right, Pause Hub.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, all right. Next up, man, we got probably the best game this weekend in terms of this is the best game this weekend.
Come on, Liberty, New Mexico State.
No, that's not that one. Not that one. The other good one. Mm-hmm. Number 1 Georgia taking on number 8 Alabama. Let's go to the numbers. Georgia. Let me get this up. Pause. Let's see. Georgia is a 5.5 point favorite. Over under is 54.5.
All right. So
taking the over.
Nick Saban has never lost a game in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 7-0. He's won 16 straight games in Atlanta. He's 10-1 in SEC championship games. Mm-hmm. Hasn't lost the SEC championship game in 15 years.
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
For that reason, for those reasons, I can't bet against them.
I understand.
I'm taking Bama money line.
Oh, money line is plus 180. What's good, Josh? I don't know. We spoke. Tyler came in early too. What's good, Tyler? I don't know. We said. The chaos in me. I would love to see Bama. Actually, the chaos in me would have loved to see Bama lose last week and win this week.
They wouldn't have been in.
In what?
If they would have lost to Auburn,
yeah, they would still be in the championship. They was in the championship regardless.
Not getting in the playoff.
I don't care about them getting in the playoffs. That would have created chaos, though.
I think it's more chaos if you got a 1-loss Georgia, a 1-loss Bama. That's an SEC championship. SEC champion.
That's fair.
And that's more chaos.
That's fair. I want to. Either way, I wouldn't mind seeing Alabama beat Georgia, but I want to see Alabama out of the playoffs. That's fun. That's always fun to me.
That's not happening if they beat Georgia.
I know. I said that's so. That's. I get what you're saying. That's why I want to see Georgia. That's why I think I got. I'm gonna have Georgia winning this. Georgia win this.
I hope you're
right. -5.5. I can see it. Because I tell you what, as terrible as I ain't gonna say terrible. I have to choose my words. As bad as Georgia looked against Georgia Tech, I guarantee you they were game planning for Alabama last week or the week before. Saying it could be saying, could be said. I get it. Who do you trust more? Which offense?
Georgia. Just because they got Brock Bowers.
Now, with that being said, can Georgia run the ball?
Have no idea.
Because we've seen Auburn took, and I guarantee you, and this might sound a little arrogant, I guarantee you they watched the LSU tape and said, that's how we're going to beat Alabama. I've never seen Peyton Thorne run that much in his life. Never seen it. Don't be surprised you see a lot of Carson Beck running the ball. Don't be surprised if you see them attack, you know what I'm saying, and come out with that running game with them running backs. And then don't be surprised if they, you know what I'm saying, play action and Brock Bowers you to death. And is McConkey back? Is he playing?
I don't know.
If not, Ra Thomas.
I hear you.
And I understand, you know what I'm saying, 16 years and
I hear you, bro.
18 in a row. And
at some point you got to beat the dude, bro.
And I think with them being able to beat them, although it was not in Atlanta, I think that did something.
Did it? We'll see. But I mean, you ask somebody like me, the only one because Jameson Williams got hurt.
I agree. I can agree with that.
I mean, who you trust more, Kirby or Nick Saban? In a close game.
I trust Nick in a close game more, but
it's about as close as that offense conversation we were just having.
Yeah, but who do you trust more? Because in a close game, Nick and Kirby, I trust them to put their players and stuff, and I trust Nick to probably put his players in a better position. But who do I trust to execute? Is it going to be Beck or is it going to be Milroe?
Shit, Milroe has had to do it this year. Beck hasn't.
You don't think he has?
What game has he had to win?
They had to come back in what was it, Auburn game? They had to come back the Missouri game.
The Missouri game they weren't getting beat like that.
They weren't getting beat by like what? Weren't they down? They was down a touchdown and came back and tied. Tied.
Well, no, what Milroe had to do last week.
I get it. I don't want to discredit Auburn, but it was terrible defense. But I get what you're saying.
That was a perfect throw. I don't care
I
what
know.
the defense looked like. That was a perfect throw. You can't. That was all Milroe. You couldn't throw a ball more and the catch too. You couldn't do. But you got me sound like a Bama fan, and I hate it. But I just can't.
I let you do that side because I damn sure ain't gonna do it.
I can't. I'm just being realistic though.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if Bama wins this game. I'm not saying that, but 8 in a row, 29 straight games against former assistants. All that stuff had to come to an end. And I think that we're at a point where Kirby he's already beaten them. And I understand that there were injuries and stuff like that, but
I just don't know, bro. I just don't know.
do we see a repeat? Bama beats Georgia, both we'll get to the scenarios. We'll get to them. Other notable games.
Ain't no other games.
You got a few. None you might not care about, but
Liberty, New Mexico State.
You got Liberty, New Mexico State.
Ain't nothing notable about that one.
You got Miami over Ohio versus Toledo.
Give me Miami of Ohio.
You got Boise versus UNLV.
Shout out to Barry Odom, man. What he doing at UNLV, man?
Big shout out. First year. Doing well. Barry O. It's good, D-Lock. So.
Yeah, it's not a very good G5.
Well, the two best G5 games we already covered, so.
And they're not really as exciting as we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Like when Coastal App was the championship game.
I'm interested in that Boise State UNLV game, I am. And New Mexico State Liberty. Because they beat them last year. And then when Hugh Freeze was the coach and then came back and beat Hugh Freeze again this year when Hugh Freeze is at Auburn.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't do that, Chris. Oh my God, please don't. He said we have to bring Corey Raymond back to Death Valley. We can bring him back. He can watch the game.
Told you be wasting your breath telling people not to say it, bro.
Yeah, he can come back and watch the game. He's that dude though.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny.
I appreciate the stars, Chris.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk scenarios because Danny Girl put one in there. CFP Scenarios. What's the best one that you got?
This scenario or the most likely scenario?
Let's do the most likely.
Okay. In my opinion,
with Florida, because I think we both kind of said Florida State losing.
Correct.
Washington losing.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you said okay. I picked Washington to win, but you saying what's most likely to happen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, most likely to happen. Yeah, Washington loses. Yeah.
So you got Florida State, Washington losing. For the sake of this argument, we'll say Georgia wins. For this side, this scenario, we'll say Georgia wins, Texas wins. Who is that? So there's Michigan wins. What you got with that one?
If that's the case, you got Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, Oregon number 3, Texas number 4.
Okay. All right. Now let's get a little funky with this. Florida State still loses. Washington still loses. But Alabama wins.
Okay. Then you got Michigan at number 1, Oregon at number 2, Texas at number 3, Bama at number 4.
Ooh, no Georgia?
No, Georgia has to win to get in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Let me ask this scenario. because I think this is a scenario where nobody in the SEC gets in. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Michigan wins, Texas wins, Florida State wins, and it don't matter, Oregon or Washington, and Alabama wins.
Yeah.
Then nobody in the SEC.
Yeah.
Hold on. Dylan. My bad. And he need. I hear him loud and clear. He don't even hear me.
But yeah, I think
D-Law said, we already know whatever scenario Bama is out the one y'all want. I honestly don't. Honestly, at this point, whether Bama's in or not, it doesn't. I would love for them to be out, but it doesn't bother me.
I'm not even gonna lie. Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me. What I do want, whatever scenario makes Jane Daniels the Heisman.
True.
So
true.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think the most likely scenario is Bama wins.
Mm-hmm.
They get in. Michigan wins, they get in. Oregon wins, they get in. Texas wins, they get in because Florida State loses. But you know what's funny is Ohio State sitting right there at number 5.
Yeah.
If Florida State loses, and all right, scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Washington wins.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State loses. Texas wins. Is it Texas or Ohio State?
Texas. Give me the conference champ. Even with one loss, give me the conference champ.
You think beating Oklahoma State is enough to leapfrog them from like 7?
Let me pull up their schedule because I don't want to just they will have beaten Alabama. Who else? Who else they played was ranked? Oklahoma. No, they lost to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma State ranked right now, so
yeah. I mean, they'll have Alabama, Oklahoma State. Let's see. Hold on, because I think this shows. I think this schedule shows what teams were ranked when they played.
So the reason why I asked is because right now,
I mean, Kansas was ranked. I don't know if they still ranked.
They're not.
Kansas State. Yeah. So I mean, Oklahoma State.
Pulse Hub says Texas win and Alabama trumps anything Ohio State done. I agree, but this is the problem. The committee says that Ohio State has a better resume or whatever that they have some kind of reasoning to say Ohio State's better because they got Ohio State at 6 and Texas at 7. So that's what I'm saying. Is a win over Oklahoma
Let me ask you this:
to jump them?
Is that a fail safe for if Michigan loses, they'll have someone for the Big Ten to put in there?
Well, all right, so let's run this. Georgia wins, Michigan loses, Washington wins, Florida State wins. I guess you're right then because the next Washington, Oregon. All right, they both can't get in. All right, yeah, I get it. Well, what if Oregon beats Washington? All right, so let's say Georgia wins, Michigan loses, Washington loses, Florida State wins, Oregon wins.
Oregon's only win will be only notable win be against Washington,
and Washington's only losses against Oregon.
It'd be a wash.
So
I put Ohio State because Ohio State still would have Notre Dame, Penn State, Iowa, and I think
Ohio State played Iowa.
Didn't they play Iowa? No, I could be wrong. Hold on, let me pull up their schedule. Golly,
I don't think they played Iowa. I know they got the Penn State Notre Dame wins though. I don't know. It's just I'm looking at the way the committee put them.
Yeah, you know. No, I get. But see, here's the problem with the way the committee does their. They'll say it's week to week, right?
And 1 week a team will be ranked number 5. Team ahead of them will lose, and that team will stay at number 5, and somebody else will be in front of them, but the other team may not have.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's the committee.
If it's
The
week
committee's reasoning changes from week to week.
if it's week to week, then Ohio State shouldn't move up any because they didn't play this week.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree, but that's how they do it. So it's like, okay, so they had number 9, Ohio State, number 7, Penn State. That was it.
ESPN Power Rankings has Ohio State strength of schedule at 6, Texas strength of schedule at 13. So,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's too many. This is the perfect year for a 12-team playoff.
It really would be. It really would be.
Perfect year for a 12-team playoff. Because you could have Georgia, Michigan, Oregon, Florida State, Texas as the 5 conference champions.
Mm-hmm.
You could have Tulane as the D5 champion.
Correct.
All right, so that's your 6. And then you got Washington, Ohio State, Alabama, Missouri, Penn State, Ole Miss. There go your 12.
There you go.
But then we'd be arguing, should it be Ole Miss or Oklahoma or Ole Miss or Louisville? You know what I mean? We'd still be finding a way to argue, or Notre Dame. You know what I mean? We'd be finding some way.
Danny says, I just think if either Bama or Georgia gets in, the games will be blowouts. No fun to watch. Same if Florida State gets in without Jordan Travis. So I do want to talk about that. I agree with her that I think that without Jordan Travis, that Florida State, if they get in, that they'll probably lose. But I do want to say this. I don't think the committee should keep them out just because they don't have Jordan Travis.
Why?
We did see Ohio State in 2014 lose JT Barrett in the Michigan game. Cardale Jones came in, played the championship game. They won. I forget who they beat. I think it was like Wisconsin or something. It wasn't like it was
Wisconsin. My bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was this tough competition against Wisconsin. Was okay that year, if I'm not mistaken. A backup literally led them. Matter of fact, he wasn't even backup, the third string, because if you remember, that was the year Braxton Miller actually got hurt in the first game. JT Barrett carried them the rest of the season, and then Cordell Jones carried them through the playoffs. So I don't think it's you punish a team for not having that quarterback, because if they made it there, give them that chance.
I disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
You said it's week to week, right? Well, this week they aren't the same team that won all them games.
I understand, but they get to play in the championship game. If they beat the shit out of Louisville, what do you do?
If they beat the shit out of Louisville, you put them in, but I don't see them beating the shit out of Louisville.
I didn't see Wisconsin beating the shit out of Ohio State beating the shit out of Wisconsin in 2014 without JT Barrett. But it happened. Man, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can.
There was a lot better team than this Florida State team is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But I'm just saying, I don't want to punish them for.
And that's the difference, to my opinion, though, is we saw Ohio State go put up 59 points with Cardale Jones. We've seen this Florida State team struggle with this quarterback. We've already seen it. We've seen them.
What if? Okay, this will be his second. Yeah, this will be his second start, though, right?
Yeah, but you've already seen him struggle.
But what if he comes out and he doesn't struggle? What if he gets it together?
So he's not supposed to. So we're supposed to not take into consideration the games where he did struggle.
I'm glad you said that. Do we not take into consideration the games that Jalen Miro struggled in the beginning of the season?
The beginning of the season versus last week is two totally different things.
But again, he had time to get better. He had time to get better. No, it's not. Think about this, Ant. Think about this, Ant.
In September to 2 weeks ago.
But think about this, Ant. You got to see him get better
over a season, not over 2 weeks.
If you see this guy, now that he knows he's the starter, he's now taking first team reps. He's got that confidence, and he goes out and dominates against Louisville.
That's one game. We've seen Miro dominate multiple games.
Did he dominate multiple games?
What
or
game
he played?
Dominate?
Say what?
Since he been back as a starter, what game has he not dominated?
What games has he not dominated? He didn't dominate against Arkansas. He didn't dominate against Tennessee. Was I say the first game he started dominating.
I give you Arkansas. He kind of struggled in the Arkansas game. He dominated against Tennessee. He killed killed Ole Miss.
Yeah. Well, Ole Miss was he didn't kill Ole Miss because Ole Miss was early in the season. He did not kill Ole Miss. He had a terrible game.
Oh, it was Mississippi State. My bad. Mississippi State. That was
but Mississippi State was early in the season too. We killed Mississippi State.
I mean,
offense and defense
on the schedule though. You know, like he's talking about a quarterback that struggled with North Alabama.
I get that he came off the bench. Cold. All I'm saying
North
is
Alabama.
I get what you're saying, but he's not the only one on that team that struggled.
That's the team you arguing should make the playoffs.
I'm arguing that yes, I'm arguing that they should make the playoffs. If you think about it, you just seen your quarterback leg snap.
They were playing good before his leg snapped. They was down 13-0 before his leg snapped.
With Jordan Travis, right?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
So can we blame it all on the quarterback?
They're not a team deserving to make the playoffs the way they played the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Danny said, if it didn't matter that Texas beat Bama in September, even though Milroe was inexperienced, then it doesn't matter that Rodemaker has not developed yet. That's what I didn't say. It didn't matter that he lost to Texas. What I've said was, since they lost to Texas, we've seen with our eyes him get better. We haven't seen Rodemaker get better. We haven't seen it.
But if you see it, and I know you're saying it's only one game.
It's one game, but how do you know that one game isn't, like you say, fluky?
But okay,
game.
With that, I'll go back to 2014. We only saw Cordell Jones in one game.
They won 59-0.
So if Rodemaker in Florida State wins that game in convincing fashion,
forget about them struggling with Florida and North Alabama. The one game we saw Cordell Jones, he won 59-0. We've seen Rodemaker in 2 games already struggle. We can't forget that.
Did he play last year too? Against Louisville?
I think so. Whenever Jordan Travis, I think
he did not necessarily struggle in that game.
We'll see, bro. Well, he ain't looked good to me at all so far.
And listen, I get that.
So
maybe I'm just playing. Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate, but I think it's hard. It's hard to keep them out, man. If you look at it, so because if this is the thing, if you're a team that has faced adversity, meaning losing your starting quarterback, and you still found ways to win, and you go undefeated, and people say now we can say, you still don't look like a team that's good enough. I'm gonna pass you over. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you, but so who's to say that they would have been in either way?
So what's the point?
Because whenever he got hurt, they dropped him to 5 after that game. If they would have been at 5, would you still be arguing for them to get in, or is it just because they're at 4?
If they were still at 5, would I have been arguing for them to get in?
Yeah.
I don't think they should have dropped.
They struggled with North Alabama.
So did they drop him because they struggled with North Alabama?
That's what the committee said. If you listen,
so then it went because of Jordan Travis.
After Jordan Travis got hurt, they got dropped because they struggled in that game. So what I'm saying is, if they would still be at number 5,
so the reason
have a problem with them not making the playoffs, or is it just because they're at number 4 now?
No, I still would have a problem with it.
Why?
Because they still found a way to win. We've seen teams struggle with lesser talent, lesser talented teams and get in.
So you saying just because they're undefeated, they should be in no matter what?
No. What I'm saying is, okay, if they were undefeated and they played
nobody entire season, because we've seen some teams go undefeated and play nobody entire season, and they didn't get in. For instance, group of 5 teams.
Hold on. Danny said, did they drop Ohio State for struggling with Notre Dame, or drop Georgia for struggling against every Power 5 school they played this season? That's North Alabama is a Division II school. I don't see how we're comparing that to Notre Dame or any other Power 5 school. That's like no. North Alabama is lower than Grambling. Like, I don't see how there's a comparison in it. But I don't feel like if you making an argument that they undefeated so they should get in.
It's not okay. So let me clarify.
To me, that's a better argument than just saying that they should get in even though their quarterback got hurt.
No, so here's the thing. It's not just because they're undefeated. I know we talk about the ACC being weak. I get that. But they still played that schedule. They beat LSU, who wasn't, they beat LSU and Florida. So, I mean, they played I just don't, it's not like they play nobody. Because if it was just being undefeated and getting in,
what's
their best win? It's probably LSU win. Number 13.
Is that a better win than what Oregon would have?
It's not a better win, but they also don't have any losses. So the
undefeated part. That's what I'm saying.
The undefeated part is, but it's not just because they're undefeated. It's the combination of it.
The combination of what?
Being undefeated and having actually having a.
They don't have a great resume, if we're being honest.
No, they don't. They don't have a great resume, but they have a good enough resume.
The only thing they have on their resume really is the 0 in the loss column and a win over LSU.
I can see that. LSU is what, 13?
Yeah, right now they are.
13. Yeah.
But if Oregon loses to Washington, then turn around and beats Washington, does that loss even matter? They avenged their loss.
Last year, TCU, they lost, they beat Kansas State and then lost to Kansas State.
Yeah, and they got in.
I think they got in by default last year, in a way.
I just feel like if you're the committee and when we're talking about Florida State,
what is your justification for saying they don't get in?
Florida State?
Yeah, if you're a committee, what is your justification?
I mean, it depends.
Danny say Miami might be their best win.
Miami. I get the rival part, but that's like saying Auburn is Alabama's best win.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you're the committee, you can say that Oregon has a better resume. You can say they got a better win.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but
you could say that Alabama would have a better resume.
Alabama does have a better resume. I can give them Alabama. I can give them Alabama is more ranked teams.
If Michigan wins, Oregon wins, and Alabama beats Georgia, you put Georgia in over Florida State?
Yeah.
You just left Georgia out then, unless you you just left Florida State out.
I get it. What I'm saying? Yeah.
So I mean, it's. I wish Jordan Travis wouldn't have got hurt, because then you really got a debate on your hands. But with him being out, I think that gives the committee what they need to leave him out if they want to.
Yeah.
And plus, we talking about, I know this shouldn't matter, but we talking about a Urban Meyer coached Ohio State team versus a Mike Norvell coached Florida State team. You see what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't leave Urban out. They might leave Mike Norvell out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a lot of factors in there. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll know on Sunday.
That's what makes college football lovely, though.
Yeah.
And the 12-team playoff is going to kill all of this shit.
I will say this. When we go to divisionless in the SEC, and every game matters because we've seen this play out in other leagues where they've gone divisionless.
Yeah.
That part will help because then every game matters for the league championship. But yeah, we'll see.
She made a good point though.
Say what?
She made a good point. Bring back the computer and stop the subjective stuff.
Yeah. But and we talked about that too. The computer they hadn't been far off from what the computers.
Well, right now they off.
Oh yeah, how far off?
Washington number 1, Michigan number 2, Georgia number 3, Texas number 4, Ohio State number 5, Florida State number 6, Alabama number 7, Oregon number 8.
Go back to the computers. Make Alabama number 12. Anyway, for real.
Number 17 in the computers.
No. Stop the count.
James Madison number 11.
Stop the count. Stop the count.
Liberty number 13.
Where's Liberty record? Are they undefeated?
They're undefeated, but they ain't played nobody.
That's not that, and that's the point I was trying to make about they hadn't played anyone. So just because you're undefeated, because I didn't want that because people were like, well, if you're undefeated, because they would say something like, well, Liberty should be in. And it's like, nah, that's not what I'm saying.
So, well, yeah, obviously, but I mean, like, if you undefeated conference champ, that holds a little Power 5 conference champ. That holds a little more weight than being Liberty undefeated.
Yeah. But we've never, if Florida State wins and they get left out, that's going to be different.
We've never seen an undefeated conference champion.
We've never seen it. So, never seen it.
And to Danny's point, she said earlier, you can't leave out an undefeated conference champion. That's a terrible precedent. I agree at that point.
Yeah. I don't know what Danny ate this year or what happened. I don't know if she had some kind of, but she been on it this year. Some of her takes.
She said, "Give James." I thought James Madison was going to a bowl.
They are. They James Madison and Jacksonville State because
qualified.
Yeah. So I said, Danny, your takes was terrible last year. Terrible. No, I'm just playing. I'm leaving alone.
Well, see, what happened was LSU found a center, so she had.
There you go.
She had time to start worrying about other things, and so
there you go. All right. All right, let's talk about some basketball, man. Basketball news.
We got some news, all right.
Yeah, let's start with the men first.
Why?
Because we Title IX. Let's
Title IX. The women first. We just did a men's sport, so now we got to do a women's sport.
No, well, we're gonna do the women's sport. We're gonna cover more of the women's sports when we talk about basketball than we are the men.
We ain't even got men.
I was just gonna ask, man, what is we got on to Will Wade that year, his last year, when Pinson went down, and everybody was like, "Oh, if Pinson was playing, we'd be undefeated still." He hurt, and that's why the team's struggling. Well, Jalen Cook's not playing, and everybody's talking about that's part of the reason why, because we don't have a true point guard. Are we not giving McMahon that same energy? And I'm first of all, I'm not a Will Wade apologist, but yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I see a lot of people blaming the NCAA for Jalen Cook not playing. And I'm never one to, miss out on an opportunity to bash the NCAA. But
they right in this case.
You had to know that this was going to happen. And if you didn't know it was going to happen, you had to know it was very likely or very possible to happen. So my question is, why you didn't go get another point guard? We saw this team last year with Hill at the point guard position and Trey Hannibal coming out the bench as point guard. Trey Hannibal is not an SEC caliber point guard. He's a solid guard, but he's not a point guard. Mikey Williams, gonna be a great kid. I mean, great player, good kid, freshman. He's not a point guard right now. You don't have a point guard on this team. You struggle getting in the offense. You struggle getting in the sets. You struggle creating shots because you don't have a point guard. And Syracuse took advantage of that and just made you force turnovers. You don't have any outside shooting. So, I mean, you can't alleviate anything. It's a poorly constructed team right now, man. And I know he's doing the best of what he can. He was dealt a bad hand, but it's just not on par with where you need to be at in the SEC to compete. And I know he's got some young recruits coming in, and he's got a good group of young guys on this team right now that need to develop, but you just ain't got the players, bro. You don't have the KJ Williams inside getting you a double-double every night. You don't have that. And so you don't have a guy you can really lean on as your go-to guy right now. And it's going to be a long season if it keeps looking this way. They need to do something, hope, pray, sue somebody, do something to get Jalen Cook playing again because they need his offense and his facilitating ability right now.
Agreed. I don't want to bash.
My bad. I'm sorry. I forgot this too. They can't play defense without fouling. Like yesterday, it was literally in the first half, they had over 10 fouls within like the first 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like I tweeted this out yesterday and people like laughed, but I was being dead serious. The basketball team is more physical on defense than the football team.
Yeah. I don't want to bash the kid. Hannibal has hit some big shots. I hate seeing him drive the ball because he always it's like as soon as he gets to the paint, it's a turnover. As soon as he gets to the paint, he loses. He's going. The Wake Forest game, we could have easily lost that game, and I could have pointed at him. It wouldn't have been all his fault, but I could have pointed to a play where we lost that game. The game last night, every time I saw him was a turnover, and it's aggravating.
How many block shots did Syracuse have last night?
I started watching.
I think they had.
I truly stopped watching at I think the first 2 minutes of second half, something like that. So
yeah, it's and then like they don't have any kind of floater. They don't have any kind of when they get to the lane, it's just attack the rim and try to draw a foul. And the shots get blocked every time. Like let me see. Syracuse had 8 block shots. LSU had 19 turnovers and 19 fouls. They shot 2 of 22 from 3. 2 of 22. 9% from the 3-point line. 9% from the 3-point line. And Syracuse shot 52% from the 3-point line. They outscored you by 27 points from the 3-point line. And they outscored you by 12 from the free throw line. They shot 23 free throws. You shot 10. And honestly, bro, like it's not coaching. Like,
yeah,
it's not. Like, I'm not saying Matt McMahon is a bad coach. I don't think he is. I just don't think this roster is constructed very well.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So here's my what I theorize might be one of the biggest issues with this. I think he is still evaluating and getting players like he's a coach for a mid-major team.
That could be part of it. I don't think that's as much the case as if you had Jalen Cook, and I'm not trying to make Jalen Cook be the next, Michael Jordan or nothing like that. But Jalen Cook would help a lot. Oh my God, he just dunked on him. My bad. But Jalen Cook would alleviate a lot of the problems of this team. He brings outside shooting. He brings somebody who can play that point guard position. He allows Hannibal to play off ball and just be a slasher. He allows Mikey Williams to be more of a scorer. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Jalen Cook would make this team a lot better. But I don't know if Jalen Cook would make this team competitive in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like even with Jalen Cook, you still a step away from being competitive in the SEC. So I feel like right now you're 2 steps away. So you even further away from being competitive in the SEC.
Look at what we did last year, non-conference.
You were a better
if
team.
I'm not mistaken, they were 12-2.
You were a better team last year.
But even then, they were 12-2 non-conference. As soon as we got the conference play,
got whacked. He won the first game versus Arkansas and then got waxed.
Yeah, so.
But they were a better team last year.
Yeah,
a more complete team last year. You had an inside presence with Kendall Coleman and KJ. You know what I'm saying? You had the inside presence. You had outside presence with the guard play with the guys from Murray State. You don't really have an inside presence right now. Like, I know everybody's going crazy over Will Baker, and he's a solid player, but he's not KJ Williams. On the defensive side and rebounding department, he's not KJ. He can space the floor a little better than KJ. He can put the ball on the floor and do some things offensively that KJ couldn't do. But you also, whenever you the 6'11" guy, you 1 for 5. You had 5 shot attempts, and you're supposed to be the go-to guy. Like, that's not the freshmen are playing better than the young guys are playing better than the experienced guys. Like Jalen Reed, you know what I mean? Like him and Ward, some of your best playing guys. So I just and Wright, the freshman. Oh, not Wright.
The transfer.
That's the transfer fan. But what's the freshman name?
To my Williams.
Yeah, he didn't play good this game, but like some of your best minutes coming from them guys, the young guys. Where your Will Baker and Hannibals and those guys, Derek Fountains aren't giving you the same type of production. Wright, your best player right now, though. But he should be who you play through. But when he goes 1 for 9 from 3, it's gonna be a long night.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to a little bit more happier times. I like to start with bad news first. Let's talk about the LSU women basketball. I like to start with the bad news first because you end on a good note. Samaya Smith out for the season with a knee injury. That's gonna hurt. She was big.
That could be the difference between
a repeat.
You was gonna have hell repeating anyway.
Yeah.
You could be lose on the second weekend. Not the second weekend, but lose on the Sweet 16 type team without Samaya Smith. If you run into a team with Lauren Betts or Cameron Brink or someone like that on the inside, they can send you home. Well, because of what you lack right now in terms of a true center on this team. Del Rosario is gonna have to come along quicker than we expected. You're gonna have to get Angel Reese or Anissa Morrow playing at their 5 position, which is out of position for them, and what we saw in that Colorado game is not the matchup that you really want if you LSU. But right now, you don't really have a choice.
You hear my background?
Not really.
Okay, it's really loud on this end. All right, let's go to the good news. Starting to get some players back.
A player back. You only got one back.
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese is back. Poole is still not back, but I mean, I expect her shortly. So, but yeah, you're starting to get them back.
What do you expect from Angel Reese now that she's back?
Hungry. Hopefully, we see a more team-centric approach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a forced, you know what I'm saying, I gotta score. Because now you don't have to rely, they don't have to rely on you. Now you can last year, okay, and this is, I guess this will be the Fat Boy quote. Last year she had the feast, she had the buffet in order for LSU to win. This year she can kind of eat at peace, you know what I'm saying, relax, you know what I'm saying, conversate during the meal, you know what I'm saying, and watch everybody else around her eat as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of expect.
What I need to see from her is unselfishness, and not in the terms of scoring. What I need to see from her is unselfishness in the terms of defense. Are you willing to get dirty? Are you willing to get physical? Are you willing to do what it takes to guard the fives that you're gonna have to see this year?
Especially now somebody out.
Exactly. Because you probably gonna be the one playing the five now, so you're gonna be getting those matchups. And we saw what Vonleh did versus LSU Colorado game, the way she feasted that. So I mean, are we gonna see Angel Reese with that same kind of effort on defense, or are we gonna see her turn it up a notch and really get in that defensive mindset of let me be the defensive anchor, let me be the captain of the team defensively, since I don't have to score as much and don't have to do as much offensively. That's what I need to see from her, because if LSU wants to go far, they need that more from her than they do scoring. They need the rebounding and defense that she could bring more than they need her scoring ability.
Agreed. Anissa Morrow continues to be a monster. Anissa the Beast. Haley Van Lith. I don't know if the bar was set too high of what we were expecting. Because she's good. She helps.
Position.
Okay.
She's been her best whenever they started. When there's been the lineup of Poa, Haley, Michaela, Nisa, Samaya, that was their best lineup, and that's when she was most effective because she's playing her natural position as shooting guard. Whenever they try to put her at point guard, she's not a natural fit there. She is kind of like what we talked about with Hannibal, the decision making, and sometimes she looks for her shot a little too much. She turns the ball over a little too much when she's playing the actual point guard position. To me, that's their best lineup, because Poa is a true point guard who will get you, 7 assists a game and doesn't look for her shot. She just looks to get others involved. So if you could run a lineup out there of Poa, Haley, Michaela, Anissa, and Angel can be a 5 for you, then that's the best situation.
Yeah. You know my favorite part of Poa's game? Her defense. She always gets the charge. She finds a way to take charge.
That's the because she knows she don't. That's what I need to see from Angel Reese, though. That same mentality. Because I know I don't gotta do that much on offense. So let me put all the energy on the defensive side. And Danny, girl, you don't want to get me started.
We'll talk off mic. What's good, Pressure?
I mean, you remember the TikTok? That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I tried. Let me be quiet.
Let's talk NBA real quick. This in-season tournament. First of all, I know a lot of people don't necessarily fully understand how it works and stuff, but I do want to say this: it's freaking genius, and it's brought excitement to the NBA season early.
Made these games matter.
Not just the game, not even just the game of winning the game, say for regular season for later on, but the other night, Golden State was playing Sacramento, and the whole strategy of trying to win by 12 cost Golden State not only the tournament, the in-season tournament, it cost them the game.
Yep.
It's such a mind game inside the game. It is genius.
Like, did you saw the Knicks when they were playing Charlotte in the third quarter? You got RJ Barrett and I think it was Julius Randle looking up at the clock. Like, we got to win by how much? I think we can do it. We're going to have to really turn it up, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they know what they need to win by. So they try to go out, and like you said, they got to go out there and do it now. So it puts pressure on them. On the winning team has pressure, you know what I'm saying, now to keep their foot on their neck, to keep the score where it needs to be, or even though we up by 18, that ain't enough. We got to keep scoring, so it makes these games matter. It makes some excitement, brings some excitement to those games. But most of all, what I like the most is, what have you not heard much of this season? Players sitting out.
Load management. Yep. Load management.
And I know the tournament ain't the only reason why that's happening. The way they restructured the All-Star game, All-NBA and all that, to where they got the minimum game threshold now. I think both of those played a big factor in what we get now as a product of the NBA.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something else about this in-season tournament. If I'm not mistaken, I think it said the number 1 and number 2 teams in the West didn't make it. So this gives those teams that are, I'm gonna tell you something else. Those teams that are, I guess you could say, at the bottom, they ain't necessarily taken. And with this money incentive, money
and not make the playoffs.
There's money incentive in there. Come on,
a double win. But if you're a team like Denver, does it really matter if you make this in-season tournament? You'd rather rest your guys. It looked like Jamal Murray got hurt tonight too.
Yeah. The championship. I think they should have. Somebody said it, and I thought it was hilarious, and it made sense. I think you should play all reserves because they're gonna fight for that money. So they can make their whole. They go make their whole salary if they win. So yeah, I do like the in-season tournament. I didn't understand it. I like it though. I don't fully understand like how the setup, because it's, and the reason why I don't understand it is because it's like
it's a European soccer model.
Yes, it's the whole. These are regular season games, but they're able to manipulate who's home team, who's not. You know what I'm saying? And when these teams play. So
and see now I don't think they count anymore after you get to the knockout round. I don't think
all the games count until you get to the championship.
The championship round. Okay.
Championship is when they don't count towards the regular season total. So
see, they just manipulated the schedule during this part of the season to make it to where the teams who make the playoffs have their regular season matchups versus these teams, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting though. Very interesting. Been very fun to watch. All right. You got anything else, man? NBA wise?
Nah, not NBA wise.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to the wrap up, man. What else you got?
You been watching college basketball?
Somewhat.
I think this gonna be a crazy year.
I do too. This SEC ACC tournament has
I'm
been
watching now.
yeah, it's been interesting. I've
This
seen some teams.
Arkansas game lit.
I saw who was it? Tennessee, North Carolina. North Carolina was beating the mess.
Tennessee
The absolute dog. Yeah, they did.
Made it a
Did
game.
They
like 6.
Yeah, but they would beat
they
the absolute dogs too.
Yeah. Right now, Arkansas up 1 on Duke. Texas A&M lost today too to Miami. Hey, we gotta talk about Kentucky though.
Talk to me.
Cal done did it again, man. He done went back to his old roots. Went back and got all them freshmen that some them like Dick Vitale like to say, them diaper dandies. They got a bunch of them young upper talented Fred McDonald's All-American guys, and they can go, bro. Between Dillingham and DeJuan Wagner and what's the boy name? Cormac Ryan. All them guys they got a little white boy, man. That boy cold, son. Cold, son. Telling you, hey, Kentucky legit, man.
I want to say this. I done watched a lot more college basketball this early in the season than I have most seasons.
Me too.
Y'all sleeping on them HBCUs. Howard. Y'all, first of all, I think they got robbed last night, but they took number 22 Cincinnati to overtime. There was a missed travel call in that game that would have gave Howard back the ball with like 20 seconds left, and they were down, I think 1 or 2 at that point. So that game, I watched Jackson State take on Arkansas State, and I said huge win. Somebody said, was it really a huge win playing, you know what I'm saying, a 2-win team? They were 8.5 point underdog. That's huge. So, especially this early in the season. It's been some really good games. Tell you who else I've been watching. Patino with St. John's is interesting.
Yeah, then they're a year away.
Yeah. Trying to see who else I have.
Shaka Smart.
Marquette. Yeah.
Tonight though, but yeah, they
yeah. They upset Kansas last week. So him and Bill
Villanova got whooped tonight.
Say what?
I said I thought Marquette lost tonight, but that was Villanova who got that ass whooped tonight.
Yeah. They upset and he got into it with Bill Self. So
yeah. So I know we had the guys on last year from Purdue.
I'm
not buying it. Not buying it. They number one in the country right now because they beat with Kansas last week.
I think so, yeah.
I'm just not buying it, bro. I know they got Zach Edey, big Yao Ming looking self in the middle, the Canadian Yao Ming, but I don't buy it, bro.
I'm still
they lose in the first second round every year, dog. I'm not buying.
I am still. I'm a down his heel. Edey, as a big man, is not going. He's not. He probably will go undrafted.
He'll go in the second round.
Either way,
7'4".
Okay, I'm a down his heel. A traditional center has no place in the NBA during the playoff run.
Yeah, he gonna make it in the league just because of like this. I'm put to it like this. Boban.
I don't even know.
You don't know who Boban is? Boban Marjanovic.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Okay. I thought you was like first name Bo, last name Bond. I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Bo Bond. Yeah,
like that's the type of role Zach Edey gonna have. He just gonna be the guy that you put in during the regular season, eat up minutes. When you gotta play a Joel Embiid or you gotta play somebody like that, you keep him on the team just for games like that. He gonna be like somebody you throw against Rudy Gobert. You know what I'm saying? People like that. He not gonna
ironically. I just watched Hustle
great
last night. Oh, yesterday. I watched Hustle.
He's not gonna have a great career, but it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have a career just because you can't teach 7'4". But that dude reminds me of Yao Ming so bad, dog. He's like a Canadian Yao Ming, bro.
Yeah. Danny Girl said for wrap up, maybe I did not have bad takes last year. Maybe I misjudged too early. Nah, you and Chris was bad. Equally
I can't
bad.
on the same part as Chris. I can't
they was bad. They was bad.
I will say this though. I will say this. She was on the money about a lot of things, bro.
Yeah.
But more so than some a lot more people. So we can't get them all right, obviously. But
oh yeah, no. It's when it comes to sports, man. One thing I do know, when you talk about this is sports as much as we do, as much as you know, what I'm saying like I, you know, what I'm saying you're gonna be wrong. You're gonna be wrong a lot. That's why when I hate is I don't try to be a you know, what I'm saying but that's why I be like I told you so. Because when I get them wrong, I have to be like, hey, I was wrong about such and such. But when I get them right,
so bad, but I'm not going to.
Say what?
I want to do that right now so bad, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna let it play out.
Yeah, I will. Let's get this end the show before we get canceled. All right. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back on Sunday. We'll have some official, you know what I'm saying, selections. We'll know who we playing in the bowl. Have all that, man. Well, I'm mad, man. I'm all over the place.
I feel you.
And then I'm distracted. Kids and stuff in the background talking and laughing. This show was presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.